G'day, I'm Gary. Today I'm going to get some sifted wood chips from my pile behind me. I'm going to use my trommel, my sifting trommel or tumbler, and I'm going to fill this tub with it. So what I'm going to do is assemble my tumbler. I'm going to use my 1/4 inch mesh. In this insert I just have to drop inside. And then I have to just put my barrel on top like so. We've been getting some rain, so the wood chips are pretty moist. Normally I would use a particle mask, but just for today's video I'm just going to shovel it straight in. The coarse material that I've got left over, I'm just going to dump back onto the pile. And all I need to do now is move my cart out and scoop it up. This is very fine material. It's been breaking down, like I said, for 3 or 4 years. It's practically humus, and it's going to be ideal for starting seeds or cuttings. So I'll take this up to the house and I'll start growing a few things in the back room that I'm setting up. My wood chip piles that I've set up down here, I've got a number of loads that I brought in, and I've been starting to harvest these ones. The process that I'm using is slow and steady. If you can get a load of wood chips brought onto your property and you've got the time and the space available, you can let it sit for years, allowing it to break down, and this is perfect material for growing anything in. It's basically humus at this point, and over the summer, because we live in a Mediterranean climate, I've been watering it with my sprinkler system just to keep it moist. I built this simple sprinkler system. It's basically just 1/2 inch PVC pipe with some sprinkler heads attached to it. When I'm using it, the sprinkler heads are aimed directly into the wood chips so that there's no excess water loss through the atmosphere. Because we have low humidity, I think it's better to have it directed straight into the wood chips. On this end, I have a simple attachment, a component that you can buy at the hardware store that you can attach a hose to. So I attach the hose to this end. I can move it around, it's very portable. So as I monitor the piles and check them for moisture level, I can just move it from one pile to another. When the rain came, I've been able to capitalise on the rainfall to break it down fairly quickly. The way rainwater works, as water drops through the atmosphere, it's capturing atmospheric nitrogen and oxygen, so that can stay in the water for a long time, and it's literally carrying it deep into my wood chip piles. And I think most of the decomposition occurs over the winter months here. Depending on your climate and your rainfall, it's going to take a longer time or a shorter time for it to break down. Here it takes longer because we're fairly arid, but that's okay. I'm patient and I can wait for it. Now that I've got it set up for this length of time, I can just harvest it for well into the future. The other thing that I've got set up here, my driveway coming down, I've set up a berm to redirect the water towards the retaining wall behind me, and the water comes down, it flows down and into the wood chips. By now I've pretty much covered the whole property with wood chips. One of the few places that I haven't laid wood chips down is the roadway that leads down to my garden. If I covered the roadway with wood chips, I wouldn't have enough traction to get back up the hill. So what I'm using it for is water catchment. So when the excess water flows down the ruts on the tyre tracks, it flows down the hill and hits this berm that I built. Before I built the berm, the water would flow across this direction and head down the hill off our property. But now that I put the berm in, I've redirected the water to the retaining wall here. And from the retaining wall, it flows down the hill and underneath my wood chip pile. So my wood chip pile is getting water from below, and it's being supplied by using the roadway up here, putting in a berm and redirecting the water. So I'm getting rainwater at the bottom of the wood chip pile. I'm getting rainwater from the top of the wood chip pile. And I think that's helping a lot. Eventually I want to plant along here. So as these piles sit here, they're improving the soil and building soil as they decompose. So this area here was pretty much all covered in weeds, and hopefully in the future I'll have it planted up, but that's a long-term project. I'm thinking into the future. Right now I'm using it just for the wood chip piles. So basically what I'm going to do now is head up to the house and continue on with my project. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, feel free to subscribe to our channel. It's Robbie and Gary, Gardening Easy. We have a number of videos already up on YouTube, and we will be continuing to put more up. If you'd like to be notified on upcoming videos, don't forget to hit the bell. And with that, thanks for watching, and don't forget to eat what you grow.